Hey, what's happening, folks? Text 191 here, and I'm back with some huge news. Cam Newton, my quarterback, the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, today he got paid. $100 million contract with $30 million in the first year. That thing is front-loaded, man. $67 million guaranteed in the first 3 years. Like, that thing is front-loaded, so he's making some money while they got the opportunity for them to pay Luke Kuechly and Star Lutulay and pick some other draft picks. So he's getting paid a lot of money right now, but as the years progress, it's going to get lower and lower. So it's good. It's a good deal for Cam, a good deal for the Panthers, and I'm happy to sign him. And, of course, like, I knew it was going to happen. As soon as Cam signed this deal, here come the Twitter trolls saying that it's a waste of money giving Cam that much because they do not think Cam will ever win a Super Bowl and that they should have spent the money on a great offensive line and a decent quarterback. Now, I got a few examples here of teams with great offensive lines and decent to elite quarterbacks and that team not winning a Super Bowl. For example, we got the Dallas Cowboys this year who were a game away from playing the Super Bowl. Was it a game away? I'm sorry, they lost to the Packers. It was 2 games away from playing a Super Bowl. And what happened? They lost to a catch that wasn't a catch. That was a catch. But they have a great offensive line for running the ball and passing. Romo's an elite quarterback. If you guys don't believe me, compare Romo's stats to Eli Manning. Right now, your head will explode. And they did not win. And they haven't won in a while. And that can be blamed partly on their offense, partly on their defense. But still, having that does not mean you're going to win a championship. Now, let's go to the AFC. Let's go to the Cincinnati Bengals, who have Andy Dalton, who is he's a quarterback, right? And they have an outstanding offensive line. And they're only going to keep adding to it by drafting those 2 rookies they had. And they haven't won a playoff game. The Bengals had a great run game, great tight ends. They have great receivers, great defense, great cornerbacks, great safeties, and they have not won a game. So I'm confused. Like Andy Dalton got a pretty good. It's not a huge contract. He got a contract, yeah. And I would say Cam Newton's better than him. So shouldn't Cam Newton make more money than Andy Dalton? If we're doing by that, Matt Stafford. Cam Newton has been responsible for more touchdowns for the Panthers than Matthew Stafford has been for the Detroit Lions. And doesn't Cam deserve more money than Matt Stafford? Same thing with Jay Cutler. Same thing with Ryan Tannehill. Cam Newton is more important to this team, and he was more valuable to this team because he does so much for this team. And it's amazing he has been healthy as he has been. Now, last year was pretty unfortunate with the injuries because he cracked his rib in the preseason game on a late hit, I think, from the Patriots, from the Steelers, and then his offensive line last year was so bad. He had no run game, no offensive line. Outside of Greg Olsen, he really didn't have any consistent receivers. Kelvin Benjamin was there, but he was a frustrating receiver to watch on play-to-play because he seemed to be a guy that could be great, and then he seemed like a guy that would just be on a practice squad because he kept dropping passes that were pretty catchable balls. But anyway, like he didn't have anybody offense that he could rely upon besides Greg Olsen to be the guy that's going to play consistent. He had a bunch of revolving doors at offensive linemen, guys who come in, not work out, guys that get pushed back, get blown up in the hole, and Cam Newton was pretty much taking in front of all that stuff. And him having to be the sole guy to score points on that team, it's a heavy responsibility. It's a heavy responsibility to be the dude in town. And everybody knows that on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, you're getting the ball because that team has nobody else to get the ball to. He's the guy. And him being important to that franchise, being important to that offense, he had to get paid. Like Derek Anderson's not terrible. He's not terrible, but they're not winning a championship. They could have gave the entire. They could have traded Cam for the Bengals' entire offensive line, and it had Derek Anderson start a quarterback. They're not winning a championship, but Derek Anderson is your quarterback. That's not happening. That's not happening. You got to have like a super elite level defense, like Trent Dilfer type Ray Lewis defense, where you just can't throw interceptions. That's what it has to happen to. The Panthers don't have that. So Cam had to get this money. And guys saying Cam does not deserve this money, you just hate Cam. Like, I can't explain anything else because I'm giving you countless examples of why you can't just have a good offensive line and a good quarterback. It has to be a great quarterback with a combination of things that go his way. Cam is a guy you want to have on 3rd and long because he can erase those 3rd downs. I feel comfortable with Cam being on 3rd and long compared to Alex Smith or compared to Andy Dalton because Cam has a threat to get that first down scrambling or throwing the ball, whereas Alex Smith is going to check the ball down. And Andy Dalton might throw a pick because Andy Dalton's just not that good. And it's it's mind-boggling because I knew this was going to happen. I knew as soon as Cam got paid, you were going to see people on Twitter saying he does not deserve his contract. Cam is not that good. Cam is a bum. Congratulations, Panthers, on signing a trash can for the next 5 years. And it's like their team would kill for that quarterback. And that's one thing they don't think about, I guess. Like, people saying they should have waited to pay Cam. They should have gave Cam only $16 million a year. You do realize if they got to that 5th year and Cam was a free agent, the Jaguars would have offered him a huge contract. The Jets, what else is there? The Falcons potentially, because Cam is from Atlanta, and Matt Ryan may not be the answer down there. The Bears, like there's a litany of teams that would have offered Cam a huge contract if the Panthers weren't willing to pay him. So you gotta basically take care of your guy, and Cam seems to be their guy, and I did not think Cam was their guy. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I thought that they were going to let Cam walk because they were taking their sweet time to see what was going on with the market, and they wanted to let Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson gauge the price of what quarterbacks should be making. And yeah, Cam got paid. Now it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Russell Wilson and Andrew Luck's contract. I do think those guys are better than Cam Newton, but I do think that, I think Andrew Luck's better than Cam Newton. I don't think Russell Wilson is, but I'm probably going to get heat for saying that because Russell Wilson has a Super Bowl, and it's kind of hard to say a guy's better than somebody who doesn't have a ring. Like, that's the argument ender of all time since back in the day. But I do think that Cam does deserve this money. I do think that the Panthers are better off signing him for this amount of money. Now, it's going to be tough going forward to find talent to fit in that salary cap structure. But I mean, it's gonna. But while you're figuring out what exactly to do, you got to have a guy out there that's going to win games, and Cam can do that. Now, Cam isn't perfect. I kind of made it seem like Cam's perfect. He is not perfect. He does overthrow receivers a lot, and his accuracy is bad at times, and he's late on reads. But once he figures it all out, once Cam has the ability to figure all of it out, once he becomes a deadly passer, once he becomes just a guy that takes less hits, once his offensive line produces and he's out there playing extremely well, and his defense is out there playing well as they normally would do when they're having a lead to protect, I feel like he's going to be a quarterback that the league is not ready for. A guy that's 6'6" with his speed, with his strength, with his mobility just does not exist. Like, that's LeBron-esque. Like everybody marvels at Russell Westbrook. Everybody marvels at LeBron James for being a specimen, a guy not from this planet. Cam Newton's in that same ilk. Now, he may not be the quarterback you would want to give $20 million to, but I mean, what else is there? What quarterback right now are you going to win a Super Bowl with that offensive line and that run game and those receivers? Let me know in the comment section below. This tweet comes in courtesy of Dragonfly Jones. Great follow on Twitter. Cam deserves every penny. It's amazing he's still alive, honestly. Got a bunch of Jimmy John bike delivery boys blocking for him. Peace.